All right, what is going on, everybody? You have not really had a chance to see this car because this is actually going to be the first time I physically work on this car. This car is a 1990 Nissan 300ZX Twin Turbo or Nissan Z32 Fair Lady. This car is, like I said, a 90 with only 71,000 miles. It is all original minus the wheels and the radio. I bought this car, Jesus, maybe 8 months ago. It's November 19th. I bought this car maybe in February, maybe even longer than that. It's been a while. But I paid top dollar for this car because of the mileage and the fact that it is a twin turbo. I have the original turbo chrome wheels. It came with these nice 19-inch offset black and polished aluminum wheels that you see here today. I love this car. This car has a leather interior. Unlike my 94 300Z that you've seen in other videos, that's a naturally aspirated, and that's what they call a 2+2. This one is the two-seater. So I talked about it probably in other videos. Well, you could tell a two-seater by the gas tank location. So the gas tank on these are right behind the back seat, where the naturally aspirated ones are going to be back here on the rear quarter. So what I'm going to do today is simple stuff. I'm actually going to be working on these taillights. So I bought new taillights. This happens with moisture, this spider webbing of the plastic and the centerpiece. This one is not bad. Let me see if I can get a light on here. This one's not as bad, but you can see it here. Now that I put the light on it, you can see all this. So I did buy all three pieces. The spoiler itself, you can see, is a little worn out and needs some work on the hatch. But for today, I'm going to open the hatch up and I'm going to remove these taillights. First thing I got to do is I got to raise up my other black turbo car, which I have yet to make a video on. That's this guy up here. I'll let you guess what that is, but there on the fender is a hint. But this is my baby, my turbo car up here. And then my son, his Skyline right here, another turbo car. Anyway, let's get back to the Nissan Twin Turbo Z32. So stand by as I lift this guy up. Let's go ahead and pop the trunk. These seats are so cool. And the doors, the way when you put the window down, this piece of door stays up. But it kind of looks like a cockpit in here. It's kind of cool. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pop this trunk right here. Let's see if there's going to be enough room to work underneath here to get these taillights out. Alright, so the first thing that I'm going to do once I'm opening the hatch is you pop these caps off here. So there's one on this side, and there's one on this side, which I've already removed here. Then you can see, to remove the taillights, there's bolts in here that are 10 mils. You can see one here. There's bolts in there. Let's see if I can get in here to get this all out. But I might have to remove this whole back panel, which is held in by 10mm bolts. So you can see that one's actually missing. That one right there. There's one in this corner right there. This centerpiece has one there, and obviously it's going to be two more on this side also. One right there and one right there. And then I should be able to pull this out, make easier access to get to these taillights. So let me work on pulling these panels out. So the centerpiece has these twist caps. They just pull off, you just twist them off like that, and they come out. See, one. There's the other one. So don't just yank on this piece, because this piece has two 10mm on the bottom of it. One there, and one right there. So I'm going to take those two off right now. So now I've pulled the two 10mm bolts off the bottom, one there and one there. I'm going to go ahead and pull this off, like so. Like that. And that piece comes off. So now you can see the bolts for the bumper, which we're not going to touch on this one. And we are going to remove that center piece, which has actually, looks like 8mm bolts. These guys hold that centerpiece on. So I'm going to continue to remove this panel. It's actually got a screw here. I just noticed that. And another one there. Phillips head. So I'm going to take that Phillips head off and the two 10mm on the bottom on each side. And then we'll start taking those taillights off and the centerpiece. Alright, so I've taken all the bottom screws out. And now I just have these two Phillips heads. There's actually one here and one right here. So there's one on each side like that. One up here, one here, one right there, and one right there. Where's that? Right there. Alright, we'll get those guys off. Alright, so I'm going to start with removing the center section. Center section should be loose. So I'll just connect that light counter on there. And here. Disconnected. This kind of disconnected. There we go. All right. All right. Oops. Hung up on. Well, you can see I didn't have to remove the bulbs, but I actually want to try to keep these harnesses if these are in better condition than the new one. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the new one. Chase. All right, so I went and pulled the left taillight off already. You can see it's got one bolt on the end, two in the center, and one more on this end. It's got black silicone all over it. You got to pry this off slowly so you don't cause any damage. I'm going to reuse this harness because this one's got all good bulbs and the harness looks like it's in good condition. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off carefully. Alright, so I just mounted up this one, the left side. I'm going to go ahead and bolt it on. Alright, so I've mounted up the left one, as you can see here. I'm going to go ahead and pull off this right one now. So I've gone ahead and removed the old one. I got the new one here. I swapped out the harness with the original one because this one still had the bulbs in it. I'm gonna go ahead and put this guy back in place with the new silicone. Make sure you get all these wires clipped in the right place. There. Right there. There we go. Slide this guy in place here, like so. That's it. Try not to break it, put it in. Use the screws to pull yourself on. Don't over tighten, because you can crack these. They're just metal screws glued into plastic basically, so you don't want to over tighten and crack these guys. Alright, that one's done. We'll go ahead and tighten up these guys. I don't know if I did this one or not. I did. This one feels good. Put that relay back. Slides back up into place like that. Pop you into place. Let's get the harness here. Done. So these guys have these little grounds here. Well, not grounds, but these little plastic straps that go onto the bolts. Plug the harness back into place for this taillight. one. The same thing with this guy, little harness clip, like that. Taillight harness back into place. Done. Now the centerpiece. Centerpiece goes on. Oops, forgot. This guy actually came with bolts. So I'm gonna go ahead and take these bolts off. Very nice of this person that I bought this off of on eBay to give me all the hardware with it. One of the taillights I bought came with the bulbs, the other one did not. But this was the only piece that came with hardware and bulbs. So it's cool. And I got bulbs off the old ones. I'll save those in the pile. You never know when you never can have enough good bulbs. Alright, so this piece has the keyhole to the right, like such, right here. Be careful when you put it on. Clean any residue, dust. Go ahead and put this guy on. Oh, beautiful, look at that. This one's the good glue. I'll probably clean some goo off after. Alright, we'll tighten this guy up. And here. So inside of here, right under the trunk, it's got a little plastic push clip. So when you remove that, you got to squeeze it out and push it through. And bolt the rest of this guy on. This has a harness here. Let's have this guy. What about this one? This one's still okay. Alright. Before I put the plastic on, let's make sure the lights work. Alright. So I got the running lights on and the hazards on. Those are working. I have the car off right now. Let's try reverse. And reverse is working. Awesome. We're done. So what I'm going to do, after I turn all the lights off, of course, is I'm going to start assembling all this plastic. Put all the plastic back. Put all these panels back real quick. And we should be all set. Let me go ahead and mount that off. Or excuse me, mount that on. So this has a little plastic clip on the top corners and on the inside corners, like so. You want to make sure that you pop these guys in place properly. One, two, three, like so. All right, cool. So we got those Phillips heads. Look up here. One, two. All right. Put this guy in here. All right. Now, just the centerpiece and those two caps. this guy goes under the rug, sits on there. Come on, dude. Just like that. Up and over there. That looks good. Where the heck are those caps? Right. So make sure you pull this weather stripping out. You can use a little screwdriver. If you can get your fingernail like that nice and clean, do it like that too. Alright, those guys are good. Let's get these caps on. Should be vented at the top. Right? Vented at the top like this. Oh, I guess like that. There you go, like that. Clean. So let's look at these last two screws here. These guys underneath. There's one. Okay, so the whole interior is back together. Those are just the T-top bags. Still has the two original T-top bags. I got a 12-inch, looks like a Rockwood Fosgate subwoofer in the trunk. Anyway, back to the process at hand. Taillights are done. Looking good. Go ahead and close this.